Several friends and colleagues have been asking about just what are the opportunity scenarios related to building with industrial hemp. This short video is an introduction to these such opportunities, and I'd be happy to connect offline about more information on these. First, we'll start out by what is industrial hemp and the building scenarios that go along with it. I'll talk a little bit about large development, single family developments, including ADUs, which are very popular, and round it out with small workshops and demonstration projects. Again, my information is listed below as well as at the end of this short presentation. Let's begin. What building with hempcrete is using the woody part of the industrial hemp plant known as the hurd, and then it's mixed with minerals like lime to make a material that functions as insulation. That's the primary area where this is a building material. Now, it's also the substrate for plaster, but when you're thinking about hempcrete or hemp lime, you want to think about areas that would benefit from insulation being a very high performing aspect of that construction project. Why do we do this? Three main reasons. This is healthy construction, it's healthy for the planet as well, being sustainable, and it's a high quality material giving high performance and longevity. So some of the motivations for building are that it's profitable. I myself came at this from the motivation factor of building to hold investment properties for profit, and the longevity and the efficiency are what appealed to me. Now, other motivation factors bring in people doing things for their health, the stewardship of human health of the occupants. It's a very healthy space. It has a low off-gassing for very sensitive occupants, where there's a high sensitivity for synthetic materials and all of the allergens and the responses that go along with that, as well as it's very retardant of mold growth and other things that are negative impacts on the health and well-being of the occupants of a built space. Now, there's a few other ancillary things like increased agronomy production. This is the farming. Straight up, this is coming in as a large industrial crop, right along with corn, wheat, cotton, all those grains and the crops that are going to large across the Midwest and other areas of the United States. And then this is also an industrial application, producing profit and jobs and increased environmental stewardship, both on the agronomy side as well as the manufactured goods side. Now, I've got a short video that lasts 1 minute and 48 seconds that introduces building with hemp. I'm going to go ahead and hit play on that, and then we'll see you on the other side of this. Feel free to skip forward if you're already familiar. Building with industrial hemp is environmentally sustainable, quality construction that is healthy for the occupants in the built space. Let's talk a little bit about what that means. These are the industrial varieties of the hemp plant that are grown for textiles and grain, and you can see, if you'll come in close, how they separate from the woody part of the plant, which is called hurd, and then there's the fibers. And so that's done through a process called decortication, and you can see how the fiber separates over here, and this comes in a variety of looks, but this is for textiles, industrial uses like automobile door panels, but what we're really interested in is the woody part of the plant. Now, this is what's called the hurd, and this has a lot of air pockets in it because the plant grows so tall so fast, and air pockets are what make good insulation in construction. Now, when you mix the hurd with lime and pozzolanic materials, it goes into the wall and it makes a rock hard, environmentally sustainable, healthy, quality building material. And this is what's exciting in the construction space, because there are new building codes. This is an appendix in the IRC 2024 building codes that will be just for hemp lime. Many people call it hempcrete. And so this is something new and exciting. If you're an engineer or an architect or a builder wanting to come into this space, we look forward to sharing more information with you. There's a seat at the table at hempbuildmag.com in the community, and you can learn more at hempbuildschool.com about how to make your project possible. That was a short clip on just what is building with hemp, but it is possible. That's the most important thing to know, and then that yields opportunities. I'm going to run through a couple of examples of some that I'm actively working on, and hopefully this will trigger some ideas for you. This is a commercial development of a raw piece of land in an area that would be well suited for flex space. This is what that looks like, where you've got warehouse and then office, and then the benefit is when the climate control input for any commercial space is dramatically reduced, and then that input of operation is lower. Now the actual value of that property is higher. That's just more profit, and that's a nice straight bottom line application of how this can be a profitable scenario. Now that's one to look at. This is another residential development near Austin, Texas, that could be over 30 homes. And this could be done in a development scenario where the environment is held in high regard and esteem. And you can see this is a pristine area around this beautiful property. This is right in the heart of the Texas Hill Country. There's a lot of water around the area with the lakes and recreation areas. And this is just some pictures of this property. Now, one thing that's key about this is the motivation of the property owners seeking development. They want to have high stewardship of the land. They want to make something that is beautiful within something that is beautiful, instead of just going in, chopping it up, and then just everybody has their little postage stamp and everybody cuts the grass on Saturday. That's something that is a motivation that we're seeing more and more. People are reaching out to me continually about having a property that they'd like to see developed, and they want to do it the right way with high levels of environmental stewardship while making a profitable decision on that development. And so those are things that are opportunities that are here and now and available to you. Another scenario, just single family homes. This is the one that I built in San Antonio, Texas, to hold as a rental property. We're just finishing up on this. And again, my motivation is very pragmatic. I'm after long-term profit from holding this as a rental property, and I'm looking at the efficiency and the durability of the material. This is a single family home in Georgia where this is their forever home. This is their dream home. And then they like the motivation of having quality, efficiency, but then they also like the comfort and health that comes along with this, and the environmental stewardship about how they're voting and how they're participating as active stewards of the environment in the house that they build. So there's a lot of motivation factors that go into building with hemp, and that's something that I'll keep focusing on, and you'll hear me go again and again on the motivation. Moving forward is the ADUs, accessory dwelling units. This is an example of one that's going in actively in Austin, Texas. And this is a lobbyist for the hemp industry on the cannabinoid side, but they are walking their talk. And when they had an opportunity to build this ADU on a property that they hold in the Austin city limits, they chose hempcrete as the building material that was the prime focus of that project. And so ADUs are something that is a very popular scenario, and if that's something in your area, we have some programs that are targeted for going after these opportunities. Lastly, people are needing to know what to do and how to do it, and how to plug into the supply chains. And the supply chains are connecting with this educational aspect. This is a workshop at a farmer processor in Kansas. And then this is one in South Dakota, as well as this one. And people are coming together because the operators in the supply chain know that they need to be active in sharing this knowledge, getting the knowledge into this space to where the consumers of their product that they produce will be the builders and the contractors and the designers and architects that make these projects come to fruition. Now, we did this by actually doing a project there at their facility. This is a very noisy apparatus for their dust control, and they do have neighbors nearby. And so they decided to take benefit of the sound dampening qualities of hempcrete, and then they used that to make a project that would keep the neighbors uh, uh, nice and happy with that noise not making its way over into their scenario. Now, their nearest neighbor is probably half a mile away, and so they're going above and beyond. But this is a good example of a producer who is actively integrated into the farm community and is helping farmers bring this commodity crop into play. They're providing a opportunity by having the processing facility there. And then this is something they cross over into several other industries. The gentleman that's the supplier here also is a beekeeper, and they're looking at using the insulative healthy aspects not just for occupants that are human occupants, but looking at this in their hives. And so it's something that is very exciting to see those cross-pollination opportunities, pun intended, and there's leadership at the helm to make all of these happen. So in summary, there are possible scenarios in commercial development, residential development, single family homes, all the way from custom to affordable scenarios, and there's the education to foster these outcomes. We teach those workshops. There's trade associations that bring this to bear. There's education out there, so it is not difficult to plug in. Now, the outcomes that we educate to achieve are the economic benefits for agronomy, industry, and jobs. Now, the second one is environmental stewardship. On the farming side, this is a crop that has high levels of environmental stewardship. On the built space, the material itself, as it goes in as a construction material, boasts the same attribute. And then lastly is the health and well-being of the occupants, whether they be humans or bees or anything that's cared for by having the built space around it using industrial hemp, and namely hemp lime, also known as hempcrete. So that's the end of my presentation. I'd like to thank you and invite you to connect with me in further detail about any such opportunities and scenarios that you would like to incubate. We're well positioned and things are taking shape rapidly, and it's an exciting space to be in. So thank you, and I hope this answers some of your questions, and we look forward to developing projects and opportunities with you soon.